In these uncertain economic times, it's easy to be worried about protecting your wealth, your hard-earned savings, and your family's financial future. Plunging interest rates, the devaluating dollar, and political unrest constantly threaten what you have worked hard to earn and all that you own. That's why now it's more important than ever to protect your assets and have the money you need to make your dreams come true. Welcome to the Global Wealth Fortress Report with successful global entrepreneur and wealth preservation expert Joel Nagel. Joel's helped thousands of people just like you protect what you have so that you can make even more and make your every dream come true. So, sit back and enjoy Joel Nagel's offshore expert advice on how you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.
And welcome to another issue of the Global Wealth Fortress Report. My name is Joel Nagel, and I am coming to you today live from the center of Vienna, Austria. In the background, you can see the Imperial Habsburg city castle, which is now home to the President of Austria, as well as a number of other important museums, the National Library, the famous Lippenzaner horses that dance around to music in harmony are based here, and a number of other offices, including the one of the main parliament sitting areas is based here. So if you've been following my travels from the States over here, I first went through Boston, then I went to Portugal, through the Azores to Lisbon. From Lisbon we traveled to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt here to Vienna. Turned out to be a great way to go because the entry requirements from Germany to Austria are probably some of the most lax. Obviously, I had to have my negative COVID test, and we had to walk in front of a thermal screen that basically showed that we didn't have a temperature, but it literally didn't take more than a few minutes. It's important to let you know that if you want to have that kind of mobility, you really should be thinking about getting a second residence or passport. You cannot have all your proverbial eggs in one basket. And I think, for many years we figured, well, the U.S. passport is one of the best in the world, so we don't have to worry about this issue like other people. But now, with the current coronavirus lockdown, with the political tensions in the States, the U.S. tourists anyways are really not welcome in many countries. I think at last count only less than 25 countries around the world, and there's roughly 200 countries in the world, so only 25 countries in the world, or just over 10%, are allowing Americans to travel there. Having a second residency, having a second citizenship is really the key to be able to maintain your freedom of travel, to maintain your flexibility when things like this happen. So I'm very grateful that we have ours. We traveled, as I mentioned, through Portugal. We have Portuguese residents. We enjoyed spending time in the Azores Islands. We enjoyed spending 2 days in Portugal before coming here. Today was my two youngest daughters' first day of school, so I was a proud father getting them all together and off to school. And I just thought it would be nice to talk to you today, and over the next few days I'm going to be finishing up this series about second residency and citizenships, and I thought I'd do it with some of the more famous cultural icons from Vienna, Austria in the background. I'll touch a little bit on Austria. I've had a few questions about Germany too, so I'm going to just mention Germany. In fact, Germany doesn't really have a second citizenship program, and it's still one of the few countries in the world that prohibits you from having two citizenships. So if you go through the hoops and hurdles to get a German citizenship, then you have to give up whatever citizenship you have. They're one of the few countries that really mandate that you only have one citizenship. Most countries now really don't care. You can have two, you can have three, you can have five. It really doesn't matter. But one thing I will mention about Germany, and this dates back to World War II, at the end of World War II. Germany is one of the few countries where it's very easy for Americans to get a visa. You can not only get a visa in the US to come to Germany and stay in Germany, but you can actually get a visa inside Germany, meaning you could come to Germany as a tourist and then apply for residency status while you're in Germany, and that's wholly unique. So I want to mention that. Of course, once you have your German visa, you can travel around within the Schengen zone wherever you want and stay really as long as you want, because there's really no internal controls within the 27 countries, even though now there are some health requirements when you go to certain countries, but mostly it's just to show that you have a negative COVID test. So I just wanted to mention Germany, get it kind of out of the way. Over the next few days, as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Austria. It's a place that my family has grown to love. My extended family, part of it came from Austria, and we've maintained a home here for about 15 years, and we like spending as much time here as we can. So I'm going to talk about the different ways you can qualify for Austrian residence and citizenship. They have what's essentially a citizenship by investment program. It's quite expensive, and it requires a massive investment, but there are some ways to get other residents, different types and different statuses of residents here that can allow you to stay, that it will eventually work towards citizenship if that's what you want. So I'm also going to, before I sign off, I just want to mention that in November, right after the US presidential elections, we're going to be hosting my law firm's annual Asset Protection Investment Conference. It's going to be November 14th to 18th in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we've done this conference every year outside the country, but because of all the travel restrictions for Americans, we thought it would be better to do it in the US this year. So for the first time ever, this is our 24th annual conference. We're going to be doing it in the US. And if you'd like more information about the conference, just click on the link below, and I'll make sure I can get you some information. So I hope to see you. It'll really be, I think, the seminal event interpreting the elections, which will be just behind us, and talking about ways that you can build your own wealth fortress. So until then, I'll see you next time on the Global Wealth Fortress Report. My name is Joel Nagel, and see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining Joel Nagel and the Global Wealth Fortress Report, a whole new approach to asset protection and estate planning, so that now you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.